this episode, join Andy on his journey home from Northern Wrestling Federation in Fairfield, Ohio. Welcome to the road home from wrestling.
Here in my car, I feel safest of all. I can lock all my doors, and it's the only way I live in cars.
Alright, well, I'm headed home from another week at Northern Wrestling Federation. My name's Andy, coming to you live to tape from the road home from Wrestling World Mobile headquarters of the world. And tonight was a hell of a show out in Fairfield, Ohio. My goodness, we got a lot of movement on a lot of stories and a lot of everything. I mean, it's just a lot of everything. And, sometimes NWF has been guilty of trying to do too much on shows, and sometimes it doesn't work and whatnot. Man, tonight just about everything worked. I mean, this was. I'm beginning to think more and more that the most important thing about wrestling is the crowd. I think, because I've had a couple experiences in this past week that have kind of, I've ridden a roller coaster of emotions at wrestling shows this week, over the past week. And, some good, some bad, all over the place. Some, highest of highs, lowest of lows, all those kinds of things. And the best experiences have been when crowds are insane and there's a packed building with fans that care about what's going on. And, they hate the bad guy and they love the good guy. And, tonight you're going to get a little soliloquy from me here at the beginning. I apologize, but I'm feeling a little cathartic or whatever you call it. And I remember one time I was at a show, just a real quick thing about me. When I first started to realize that I could go to live pro wrestling shows, pretty much all the time, I would go to as many as I could, and no one would go with me, so I went by myself, and I went by myself to 100 shows before I finally convinced someone to come with me, and that was Dean. And that's, how our friendship really blossomed, and that's how the podcast started. And I wish Dean would have been here tonight, but we got that big Royal Rumble party tomorrow. He's got to get ready for that, so that's a big deal, and so that's pretty cool. But I remember I was at a show once, and it was an NXT show, and I saw NXT in one of their first shows out of the state of Florida. I used to see them anywhere I could, and I remember sitting next to this guy, and the whole crowd was booing Baron Corbin. I mean, this is when Baron Corbin was, long-haired biker dude or whatever. And this guy next to me was cheering him, and I remember, him saying to me, I like that guy. And I had to explain to him, well, why don't you boo him then? Because that's what he wants you to do. And he could not understand that, because he was through his drunk, sarcastic mind, he was thinking to himself, oh, I'm gonna fucking be a smartass, and I'm gonna cancel out your cheers or your boos with my cheer, or whatever. I don't know. The guy was just being a prick the whole night. Anyone I would cheer, he would start booing. I don't know what the problem was, and I didn't get in an argument with him or anything, but I just realized that, that experience would have been so much better if that guy would have, been on the same page with everybody else, and so some of the best experiences that I've had in pro wrestling just over the past week have been when the crowd's on the same side, and yeah, you got your few people here and there, and that's fine, and I'm not saying that people can't cheer for who they want to cheer for. I cheer for bad guys too sometimes. It is what it is, and I get it. It's just, sometimes guys are just so good you want to cheer for them no matter what alignment they have. But the point is that, this week I've had a couple great experiences with wrestling, and, and they've all been in that situation where the crowd was just kind of, all behind one guy, all against another. And that's the magic of pro wrestling, good versus evil, the morality play that goes on in the ring right in front of our eyes. And so, that's kind of what we had tonight, man. The crowd was hot. The building was fucking packed at the UAW Hall there in Fairfield, Ohio. And NWF was ready to put on a hot show, so that's what they did. We started off with a pre-show match tonight, and that pre-show match had Icon, the Warlock, and Sean Evans versus the Natty Boys and Lexus Montez. Tonight was a special night. Lexus Montez is bowing out of NWF. He's kind of done all that he's going to do here for now, and so he's trying to get other bookings and free up his Saturdays. I'm assuming. I don't know for sure, but but that's so. This was kind of his farewell night slash match. I have to admit I was not real happy that it ended up on the pre-show, but whatever. My happiness is not what the world's all about, so it doesn't matter. It is what it is. So, these guys did great. I'll tell you what, one of the guys that really stands out in this group of the younger guys that were the bad guys in this match was Sean Evans. Man, Sean Evans is he loves being evil. I can tell you. You can just tell by he really enjoys it, and that's what you want in a bad guy. And I think that he does a really good job. And I think that if at any point tomorrow or in 6 months they wanted to just plug him into a spot on the main roster, not anyone in the crowd would question it. They'd all be like, "Oh, this guy fucking fits right in." And that's because he is a former NWF wrestler, and he took some time off from injury, so he's got a lot of experience that the younger guys don't have. But it's really smart to put him in a match like this with this team, because he can he's like a, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the role that he's playing. He's playing this like leadership role among the bad guys, and that's a really cool deal. And I think he's doing a great job. So, we had Icon being a dick. We had the Warlock being, the Warlock. I don't know what to say about the Warlock. Solid wrestling. I don't know. That gimmick is so hokey, man. It's hard to it's hard to even boo it. I don't even know what to say. I almost feel sorry, for whoever's doing that. But either way, whoever it is, they're getting experience under the mask, and and that's a good experience either way. So, Natty Boys are awesome. They're super over. Basically, this was let's beat up Icon the match, that should be every match. Let's face it. If Icon's in a match, I think everyone should just beat him up all the time. I think that they should let little kids chop Icon. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I don't see how that could possibly go wrong. What could possibly go wrong with that? But I apologize. I'm a little congested tonight. I've been fighting something pretty awful this week, so I apologize if you hear me coughing or sniffing or yawning or whatever bodily functions I'll try to avoid doing, on this solo episode. But it's tough. It's tough to keep that from happening without someone to cover you. And I'm not editing the show like I would want it to be. Otherwise, it wouldn't come out for 3 days. So, anyway, so the good guys win. Shit's fucked up. I don't know. And that's good. So the good guys win, and everybody kind of gets some experience, and that's good stuff for the younger guys. So after that, we moved on to our main show, and the opening bout of the night was Nate Peel versus Ryan Stone. Nate Peel looked ridiculous. It was awesome. He probably looked like what I would look like if I was in wrestling gear, only about 100 pounds lighter maybe. He also he handed Boss Man this like thing to read, right? And there was a lot of accolades that he was claiming to have. One of them was that he was the 2013 J Crown winner, which I don't think there was. Like, the J Crown's been gone a long time, so that's not even a thing. So that's pretty funny. There was a lot of funny accolades that he was applying to himself. But this wasn't a match. I mean, this is just silliness. What happened is that Ryan Stone comes out. The crowd's all behind Ryan Stone. I saw him, like, basically holding a baby for a picture at intermission, and I was waiting for him to throw the baby. I couldn't believe he didn't just chuck the baby, because now Ryan Stone's a good guy, and I don't trust him. You know what I mean? You gotta watch that guy. You never know what he's gonna do. He could have Pearl Harbored the shit out of that baby. We don't know. So we just got to wait and see with that. But for tonight, he is a mega baby face because he's going up against Nate Peel. And Nate Peel takes his shirt off. He makes the crowd, go silent, while he's taking his shirt off. And then he decides he doesn't want any part of this. He doesn't agree to this match. So he leaves. But Roger Ruffin, you hear his music, and here he comes with, he's basically got Nate Peel by the collar, and, it throws him in the ring. Ryan Stone hits a spine buster immediately, and then there's a little bit of shenanigans with just, Nate kind of trying to get out of it again, and then we get the gun stun, glorious cane bump by Nate Peel, and Ryan pins him for the win, and Ryan, celebrates and stuff, and it's like, why'd you even get in all your gear? I mean, you know what I mean? It's just, that was a lot of fun. I don't know. Nate Peel gets what he deserves. And, but the thing is, though, it's Nate Peel. He's going to slither his way back into, the hatred of the crowd and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to get a little later. And some of my analysis or whatever and recap of some of these matches are going to be a little more detailed than others. Some of the matches were just spectacular tonight, and I didn't feel that it was right to sit there and take notes during them because they were, a couple of them were so good. I wanted to watch everything that was going on. So I apologize if I miss a few things. I'm going to miss a lot of stuff, I'm sure. All right, so after the Nate Peel versus Ryan Stone, we had a tag match, which, I made this point before, but it's crazy how, a year ago, there were, no tag teams in NWF. There's, the tag champions and whoever they were feuding with, and that was it, And it was probably Natty Boys and Crimson Mafia or something like that. And now, there's, a billion tag teams, There's, so many tag teams, I don't even know what to do with them all. But that's okay, because we had some awesome tag team action tonight, including this next match, which was Andrew Reed, and Anthony Bryant, versus what is this? This is crazy. This is former owner of the Road Home from Wrestling podcast and current owner of the Road Home from Wrestling podcast, Kimba and ATAM, tagging together. The Shovel Sons, I don't know, pretty cool. I really like that. Now, there's been this thing going on where Andrew Reed doesn't want anything to do with Kimba, because I think Kimba's kind of got his number, and Andrew Reed knows that, but he doesn't, so he's in there, and Kimba wants a piece of him, but he tags out. He wants Anthony Bryant to come in instead, because the crowd might actually want to see Kimba versus, Andrew Reed. They have tremendous chemistry, but guess what? Anthony Bryant has tremendous chemistry with everyone he wrestles because he's fucking awesome. So it doesn't matter. We're getting good shit either way. This match is awesome. It's tremendous. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just really good. And like I said, I'm not going to have a lot to say about every single move. I get some story beats, a couple high spots, and we're going to move on because, man, so much to talk about tonight. Pardon me. Let's see here. So we had this really great match, and it built to this really cool spot, man. Oh, man, this is awesome. We had a double superplex attempt by Anthony and Andrew, and they had them in opposite corners. They had the good guys in opposite corners, tries for a superplex, but the good guys basically just both punched them off the top rope. So we got two bad guys laying in the ring, and you know what? We're going to hit a stereo frog splash, so we get the stereo frog splash from both good guys. Kimba, now this was fucking really cool. So we get Kimba, he puts Andrew in the Lion Tamer, right? And Andrew Reed looks like he might tap, but we're not sure. And ATM's like, well, fuck it. Andrew Reed looks like his head is right where it needs to be. Yeah, I'm doing it. He hits a baby cutter while he's in the Lion Tamer. Oh my God. Andrew Reed's probably dead now. That was amazing. I love that. So that was cool. But Anthony breaks that up. But then Kimba, I can't remember how. I think maybe then ATM takes out Anthony Bryant. And then so Kimba reapplies the Lion Tamer, and Andrew Reed taps out like a bitch. Really good stuff. Fucking, I mean, NWF, like I said, I mean, the past couple, weeks, months, whatever, the match quality's been through the roof, and this was definitely part of that. I mean, it's just, I don't know what else to say about it except it's fucking great, so keep it up. Love it. Next we had, let's see here, we had kind of like a grudge match type deal. So we got David Tyler, Mad Dog David Tyler, he's a dog, versus the Swinger. And, I know that the Swinger's been kind of feuding with Anthony Bryan at Bone Crushers, but he's also been feuding with David Tyler at various places other than Bone Crushers. And, David Tyler comes out, he's got his stupid chain with him, and he thinks he's so cool. It's just so I want to differentiate. There's several wrestlers now at NWF that use a chain as a weapon. David Tyler's chain is like a giant chain. The chain links are huge, so it's like a big chain, It's the kind of chain that like Mr. T would have around his neck, And I don't mean, well, that's confusing. That's not what I meant. I don't know who would have this chain. The Junkyard Dog had this chain. I think Junkyard Dog had that. There you go. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So now, and then the other chains are actually like the Mr. T starter kits. Those are like gold chains that other people are using. So maybe we need to mix it up a little bit. I don't know. I think tonight we did get that in a later match, which I'll talk about. So let's see here. This is a good match too. Swinger tries to get sexy. David Tyler says he's not playing that game. I don't think it's a game to Swinger, just so you know, David Tyler. I think it's serious business. Getting down to fucking ain't no joke. So, not to the Swinger anyway. Oh man. Let's see here. Alright, so after a really good match, good stuff, Nectarini, all kinds of great stuff from the Swinger, fucking great strikes, the shit he does, David Tyler being a dick, hitting moves and being a prick and all that stuff, that rhymes. And we get, fake ass Daniel Bryan knee from David Tyler, but it doesn't work. It hasn't worked in a long time. It hasn't worked since the first month he was a bad guy, I think. It's been a long time. So he goes for the chain because he's frustrated, which is actually one of Swinger's kinks, or so he says on Twitter. So, by the way, follow the Swinger at SwingerFits on Twitter. My God, guy's tremendous at Twitter. Really good stuff. And then we had, let's see here, the Swinger kicks David Tyler kind of like behind the ref's back, and David Tyler's still able to get the big spoon on the Swinger for the win, and Swinger immediately tapped to the big spoon. Very good. Thank you. That is awesome. I think that's really important when a guy has an established submission finisher. If it is the finish, it needs to be instant. You know where that's happened really well in WWE is Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler, when it's in the middle of the match and she kind of goes for something like that, she isn't powered up yet. But when it's the finish, it's fucking tap out immediately, or that's it. So really cool. I think it's really smart to put strong finishes over as strong finishes. Otherwise, what the fuck are they? Just my opinion. I see a lot of wrestling, see a lot of disrespect to finishers happening a lot in the world of pro wrestling, so I'm happy to see when the respect is there. Alright, so next we had another spectacular match. That match was awesome, the previous one. This one's even more awesome. It's fucking just gets better and better. This is the Hippies, Pompano Joe and Jesse Hyde versus Alex Hayden and Sinclair Octavius Bentley. Man, these guys are awesome. Your best bad guys are the ones that you can tell are having a blast. Like I said, like Sean Evans, where he loves to make people hate him. It's the same thing with SOB and Alex Hayden. They just love it. They hate everybody, and they love it when you boo them. They think it's so funny, and that's awesome. So this match is awesome. But I did have a little funny thing that I was like, really? Because the bad guys start trying to work over Joe's left arm. I believe it was his left arm. That shouldn't work on Joe. Joe is the arm master. He is the arm whip master. Whip it good. And I don't think that stuff like that should work on him. I think he should just shake his head and be like, nah, and then just no-sell it. Back in the day, there was the Road Warriors. If you tried to pile drive, Road Warrior Hawk, he'd just get right back up and kill you, I think something like that would be cool. But, you know, Joe did unfortunately hurt his arm. You know, they kept beating up on his arm. And I apologize there. And so they did this spot, the same spot they did in Mount Orab last week, which that was an awesome show too. At the Mount Orab show and at this one, they do this deal where like Alex Hayden's standing on the apron and SOB hands him the arm of their opponent, and so he starts breaking the arm over the shoulder without even looking, right? So he does this a second time, but this time, you know, Sinclair's arm gets fed to Alex Hayden, and then Alex Hayden just destroys his arm, and then realizes, like, and he does the, you know, like he almost like grabbed his collar like fucking David Letterman. That's pretty funny. So that was an accident, and that, you know, I mean, they're good. These guys are a great tag team, but, you know, I mean, sometimes you're not paying attention. Sometimes you're just not doing what you need to do. So, you know, Alex Hayden he says money changes everything. It apparently changes his attention span as well. So there's that. All right. You Can't Rock Me by Jesse Hyde. So Jesse Hyde gets out the invisible bag of dicks. He fucking hits the You Can't Rock Me. That's awesome. SOB grabs the chain. Again, another chain, like I said. This was the Mr. T starter kit chain, though. But referee Brian catches him, right? And then we get some dives, and SOB uses a wad of money to hit Jesse for the win. What? So, this leads to the only question that could be asked. Is there anything money can't do? You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure it can buy happiness, and apparently it can win a match, literally. And I don't mean like he paid somebody off. He literally hit someone in the head with money and won. So that was fucking nuts. And the bad guys win, and they're so happy, you know. And Alex Hayden, you know, he did acknowledge to me, he said, money changes everything, even the results of this match. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, like I said, is there anything money can't do? Gosh, I wish I had money. That'd be awesome. One of these days. That's the wish of every, you know, fucking lower middle class American. Like, one of these days. Oh, it's a sad thing. All right, so next we had your tri-state title match. This is a match that, you know, if I was booking this, if I was fantasy booking this, it would have been Alexis Montez in this match versus DC in a friendly competition. Especially what happens at the end. This could be a way to write Alexis Montez out of NWF. I don't know. Could have been cool, but it's all good, you know. And what happened here is that we had DC, who is the new tri-state champion after he defeated Adam Swayze, you know, after ridiculous odds against him at the Mount Orab show. And that was fucking tremendous, man. The crowd loved that. And so DC is debuting here at you know, at Fairfield as the new champ. And his opponent is Jay Donaldson. I don't know what Jay did to earn a title shot, but whatever. You know, it is smart. I will give you this. It's smart to give DC a win over a guy like Jay Donaldson, because Jay is an established former champion, you know, whatever, I don't know how many time champion he is over at NWF, but he's an established guy that, you know, a win over him makes it, you know, it matters. So that makes sense. I apologize, I'm slightly distracted. There's some maniacs on the road here. It's starting to rain. It's all snowy and shit because we're in winter and fucking hate winter. Oh, winter's the worst, right? I try to be positive about winter, but it fucking sucks. I hate it. The air's all dry in my place. You know, I gotta use a humidifier. I don't know. I don't want to bitch about that. Anyway, all right, so we had a really good back and forth match with all kinds of comedy shenanigans from Jay trying to be tough. But, you know, DC's just like fucking him up right and left. Good stuff. One of the big spots of this match was Jay was on the apron and he was talking shit, and DC fucking pounced him like into the second row pretty much, which was awesome. Let's see. He gets back in the ring and eats a spear. DC wins. There you go. It was a pretty quick match. But there was somebody who was in the audience tonight. And we saw him, of course, we can't get into podcast business as to, anything we did or didn't do before the show, but, sometimes we have meetings and stuff like that. It's all boring shit anyway. But Brandon Taggart, other part owner of the Road Home from Wrestling podcast, our boss, was in the crowd tonight. And he was sitting there right in this one corner, and man, he was marking out, he was cheering, he was doing all kinds of stuff. He was really cheering for ATM, man. He was hanging on every little thing that ATM did in this show tonight. And after this match, we see Brandon Taggart stand up, and he just walks right into the ring area, kills a bunch of security guards, and then kills DC. Awesome! That was awesome. Man, I'm so happy. Brandon Taggart should be on every show, everywhere. He's so good. And especially as your monster heel. I mean, that's his deal, man. He's so good at it. I'm so glad. And not only that, but not trying to, I mean, this kind of stuff's out there. I'm not like saying anything that somebody couldn't find out or whatever, but him and ATM been helping train down at the legendary Legends Academy, the legendary Larry D Academy down there in Paris, Kentucky, and they've been helping train down there. So, Taggart has a lot of experience working, super indies, the wrestling. He's worked like all the shows that are out there. ATM has TV experience, etc. It's the kind of thing where having these kind of guys work with your younger talent, like DC, that's a real smart move. It's a real smart behind-the-scenes move, because that's going to make DC even better than he is. And if he can slay that dragon, I mean, think about that, too. So, really cool. And by the way, he killed DC with a blue thunder bomb, which made the ring fucking explode. And the crowd cheered, even though it was bad, because it was so fucking awesome. Again, like I said, the crowd was just kind of on the same page for everything. So, that was awesome. I really enjoyed that. I had somebody walk up to me, too, and ask, like, hey, is that guy from PTW? And I wanted to be like, I'm fucking begging you to listen to the show. But I answered the question. Told him about Taggart and how great he is. So, that's my boss out there, beating up my former boss. I like it. All right, so after that, we had another match, and this was Big Cuz with Andre versus Christopher Michael Lotus, in case you didn't notice. And there was a stipulation on this match, and that was that Andre Macaroni will be handcuffed to Chris Harris, Wildcat Chris Harris. To finish this match real smart. Because the deal is that Andre has been constantly interfering and stuff like that. And, just a slight interference, a slight distraction can allow, Cuz to grab that he can goozle you, man, just like that. So, you gotta watch out for that shit. That's kind of what this is all about. This is just another really good match. It's a little more of a brawl, which is not, Cuz does brawl matches. Lotus doesn't typically do brawling matches. So they did a lot of brawling on the outside to start. I apologize. And then they got back in the ring. They did some wrestling, It's great. Lotus has to load up with 2-3 drop kicks to get Cuz kind of back in the corner and then do more shit. I mean, it's really smart psychology. Christopher Michael Lotus is he's a tremendous wrestler, and he knows what the fuck he's doing. So putting, again, this is just more stuff of putting young guys with older guys and whatnot, and that's NWF knows how to book these storylines to not only be effective in the ring for the fans, but also to be effective as a device to make your talent better. There's a lot of older guys in NWF. It doesn't matter. If those guys all left today, that would suck. I'd hate to see them go. However, there's so many people that could just be plugged in there. Like I said, you got Sean Evans just hanging out in the Future Stars. He could be, like I said, he could come in and be opponent for DC too. I mean, there's a lot of guys like that. So, I mean, the talent the talent pool is large, and it is filled with very talented wrestlers. So we had this great stuff, brawling outside, wrestling on the inside, and then out of nowhere, I thought that Andre just maybe was trying to like lighten, well, what do you call that? I thought that Andre forgot to put his perfume on or whatever, because he got out some, what I thought was Axe body spray, but it was actually mace. He pulled it out of his pocket. He maced Chris Harris in the face. Amazing. Really smart finish. I love that. I kind of blame referee Brian, though. He should have checked him for weapons, But I guess Chris Harris came out with a bunch of handcuffs and a fucking billy club, and that's okay. So I guess you can bring mace to the ring. Let's see. We got Andre maces Chris Harris, causing a distraction. And that allows Cuz to hit a choke slam, for the win. Huge choke slam, too. Awesome. Good stuff. That was awesome, and I enjoyed that a lot. Really smart, and, bad guys getting over on the good guys. Is it over? We don't know. That might have been the blow-off because of what happens with Big Cuz later. He may have another role to play at NWF. After that, we had single intermission, and this didn't happen during single intermission, but I got to talk to a few people tonight. Mr. Big Cuz was in the house, Chief Big Cuz, or Chief Cuz, we'll call him. He was in the house, and I got to talk to him for a few minutes. Great dude, big supporter of the podcast, and, he's a nice guy, so I'm happy for him. He's got some life-changing stuff going on, and, it's good life-changing stuff, so that's good stuff. They're like an awesome family, I don't know, good people. So, anyway, it's always good to see good people, and, other than that, just kind of hung out. I was sitting with John and Allie, and, Allie was very excited a couple times tonight, and she did later on, I gotta say it now because I won't remember, during Larry D's match, she started cheering for Larry, and she said, "Come on, Lair Bear." So that's going to stick around, I think. I think Lair Bear is now a thing. So that was awesome. Thank you for that gift, Allie. I love that. I also got to see Alexis Montez. He was getting a lot of love from people in the crowd. He had kind of, after his match, he had kind of given the Japanese bow to all four sides of the ring out of respect. And, it's a cool deal. And so, man, people were like interrupting me with him right and left. I didn't get much chance to talk to him at all. But, that's what happens when you're a good wrestler, I guess. So that was single intermission. After that, we had Miss Callie in the ring. And I've been wondering, when are we going to get a women's match at Fairfield? I mean, it's been a while. Should be on every card. Why wouldn't it be? If you aren't aware of this, there is a promotion up north called Unsanctioned Pro, and we went there last week. I fucked that up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm struggling here. There's a promotion up there called Unsanctioned Pro, but they ran a double header show with a company called OWA, and it's kind of like they ran in the same building. It doesn't really matter about Unsanctioned Pro, other than that's a place where Lexus and Big Cuz, Lord Crew have been wrestling. Big Cuz just got announced for up there. They're kind of seeing some talent down there at NWF and putting them on this super indie show, which is a tremendous show. But OWA ran a show before a UP show, and it was awesome too. And they had a women's match, and it was Heidi Katrina versus Nikki Victory. And, man, the crowd loved Nikki Victory up there. I got several people, because, people know that I know who the wrestlers are and shit like that. So sometimes, people I know will ask me, like, oh, what about this person? What about that person? And I always speak highly of Nikki because I think she's tremendous. I think she's got one of the highest ceilings of any of the talents at NWF. I just really do. And I just want to talk real quick. If you haven't listened to that episode, or you're not going to, that's fine. I just want to tell you about the experience up there, seeing Nikki wrestle in a different kind of environment. She wrestled Heidi Katrina, who is like basically a underwear model that wrestles and has giant guns and is just terrifying. And Nikki fucking bumped her ass off, and she fucking crushed it. People were very impressed with her, and the overriding kind of thing that I heard was, oh my God, she made it look like she was being killed on every bump. And I was like, that's outstanding. So she put Heidi Katrina over huge. And that goes a long way, man. You know, it wasn't an enhancement match. It was a match. But Nikki, you know, put herself over, put Heidi Katrina over in such a great way that, you know, it was very much noticed by the crowd and very much noticed by people who know wrestling. So that was fucking awesome. I hope that leads to more bookings for her. But like I said, when are we going to get a match at NWF? This is her home promotion. She's the champion. And so after single intermission, Miss Callie's in the ring, and she welcomes out to the ring Ella. And Ella comes out. Ella looks like her makeup's a little messed up, like, you know, it would be, but she seems like a normal person. And she makes some great points. She says, hey, you remember that ladder match at FanFest that was right out there? Remember that? You know, you know, I almost won that, if you remember, but I haven't got my title shot. What the fuck, basically? When's my title shot? And so she says, are you guys scared of me? Because I think you are. And so is Nikki Victory. So we hear Nikki's music hit, and here comes Nikki, and she comes out, and she starts, you know, kind of chirping a little bit, and we get a fucking pull-apart brawl between these two. It looks like we're going to get a match, and that's great. Only thing that would have been awesome is if they could have made this a bigger deal, if they had more people come out to try to separate them. A pull-apart brawl needs more people. It needs lots of people, you know? The more people that are involved in a pull-apart brawl, the more crazy and, like, important it seems. So, you know, that's the only thing that would have been cool. And, but man, that was an awesome segment. I'm glad that we're getting that. And my God, my voice is going, guys. So let me try to get through these last couple matches. Oh, God. Okay. So the next match was the End of Days. That's Jake Oman and Muldoon versus Samson and T-Money. There was a big takeaway from this match that I'll get to here in a second. Hot start, you know, it wasn't a Pearl Harbor, but basically when T-Money and Samson got on the ring apron, here comes the End of Days, fucking them up. And we had Muldoon hit a fucking tope con hilo, which was surprising and awesome. And all kinds of cool shit. Jake Oman, really good wrestler, man. You know, I would love to see him work a little more strong style with these guys as far as like striking stuff, just because, you know, T-Money and Samson are clearly guys that can fucking strike like nobody's business, and I would love to see like a strike off between them. You know, I know Jake Oman can give it right back to him, and Muldoon sure can too, I'm sure. He's just not a guy I think of when I think of, like, you know, tremendous striking. So, but anyway, let's see here. So we build to this huge hot tag to Samson, who runs wild like no one has ever run wild before. Oh my God. Everyone who is a young wrestler or wants to be a good babyface wrestler in a tag match, just download this video, like record whatever when the fucking Bustin' Loose comes out on Sunday. Just save this clip. I'm going to cut it out and post it on the internet probably, because this was fucking awesome. This is one of the best hot tags I've ever seen live. You know, Samson just fucking destroyed those guys. And like, you know, the bad guys did their job as far as to make sure that the hot tag, you know, the heat from the hot tag continued. It didn't just go away. It's the biggest problem with hot tags is it's like hit a move, hit a move, hit a move, you know, growl at the crowd, you know, whatever, cheer to the crowd, then what? You know, that's the step that everyone's always missing is the, you know, yeah, I hit a bunch of moves, great, okay, hot tag, you know, and then I go, yeah, come on, to the crowd, and then what? Right? That's the step. So, you know, Samson fucking crushed this. It was awesome. I got chills. That was awesome. And then Jake Oman does the Eddie Guerrero chair trick, and referee Brian has never seen wrestling apparently, and he falls for it. And if you're not familiar with what that is, what are you doing? But basically, he, you know, threw a chair at Samson. I believe it was Samson who caught it. And then he pretends like he's down, and he does that behind the ref's back, so when the ref turns around, he goes, wait, you're down and you're holding a chair. You must have hit him with a chair. That's it. Ring the bell. And that's what we got, right? DQ finish. Bad guys take a powder. Good guys kind of left to be like, what? Samson's like, man, I just hit the fucking best hot tag of all time. Now I'm holding a chair. What the fuck happened, Awesome stuff. I'm so glad Samson's back, man. It's weird. I've been talking about him for a long time, and it almost to the point where, like, people, on the podcast or people I've been, friends with a while that are into wrestling are probably like, yeah, that guy doesn't even exist. So, and now he's back, and he's fucking rocking out. So that's awesome. I hope that we get to see a forward trajectory for him, and I hope that NWF realizes the value that they have in Team Money and Samson as a tag team. I mean, that's a piece right there, man. That's something you can use. Amazing. All right. So maybe match of the night. Maybe this match is spectacular as well. I hope this gets posted in full and complete form, whatever you call that, on YouTube or something. This is awesome. We had Jeremiah versus Star Rider. All right, man, awesome stuff. I mean, okay, not only was the match awesome, like everything looked great. I mean, all the moves were tremendous. It all made sense. It was awesome. But not only that, but this ending. I mean, this was when Allie, who was sitting next to us, was losing her fucking mind. She maybe was the most excited I've ever seen her at a wrestling show. I mean, she was losing her shit. It was awesome. So what happened here is we had this fucking awesome match. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. It's awesome. Watch it. Try to figure out how to watch that. NWF needs to put more shit out on the internet, because, man, some of these high-quality matches that you guys are having out there, if we can get some eyes on that, man, that's going to get more people in the door. I don't even know if more people would fit in the door tonight at Fairfield, but you know what? Roger would figure out a way. He'd figure out a way to get more people in. They'd sell like $5 tickets to stand at the window or something like that, so something. Anyway, point is, this is spectacular. Star Rider is just one of the top wrestlers at NWF now. Fucking great stuff. He ends up winning with a small package. Kind of out of nowhere a little bit, and that's a great finish because it's not over. After the bell, Jeremiah kills him, and he teases unmasking him. He starts undoing the mask, right? The referee starts going, no, you can't do that. So he fucking tosses the referee out of the ring, and then he goes back and starts doing it again, and the crowd's kind of wants him to unmask him. This is another weird thing. The crowd is like, yeah, let's unmask him. Which is weird, but they didn't want it to happen. I don't know why. I know why I want him to be unmasked, but I don't know why the crowd wanted it. But the crowd was all about it, and so he starts to at least from where we were sitting. So he starts to unlace it again, and then he actually does it. But Jimbo is standing by. He makes the save with a very strange pattern towel that looks like it is part of the Sinclair Octavius Bentley collection to go over his face. If you've never seen that kind of thing, John even took video of it. It is seamless. We do not get to see Star Rider's face at all. We did find out, though, he's a member of the tribe. So Star Rider is a bald dude, which aliens are bald. I mean, that's an established thing, It's like they're so far evolved, they don't need hair anymore. They fucking live in space and shit. I mean, come on, It's just their obsession with anally probing people. I don't understand that. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but anyway. So that was awesome. Like I said, we don't get to see his face, and I'm wondering if we're, maybe going towards a hair versus mask match or something like that. I don't know. I kind of would like to see Star Rider lose his mask. That would be awesome. And then, because when a luchador loses his mask in Mexico, he kind of, will bring it to the ring with him, a lot of times. He'll bring it to the ring with him. He'll wear it to the ring and then take it off. So, like, he doesn't wear it while he's wrestling, but it still is part of his character. Even though he lost it, he can still have it, but he can't wear it during the match, basically, right? And he doesn't wear it, like, out to lunch or whatever, like all the other crazy luchadors do. So that could, bring a little flexibility to the Star Rider character that's not there right now. So, just an idea. I really like that. That could be cool. After that, we had the tag title match. This was awesome, too. Lord Crew and Matt Stevens Now, I'm really sorry. I am an idiot, and I can't remember things that people tell me very well. But Crew told me a really cool story about how he said that when he used to play music, he like actually played a show with this band. He played a show with a band that was also on a show with a different band. That is actually the band that plays the Matt Stevens theme. So he had always liked that band, and he wanted to come out to that music at some point. Well, tonight he got the chance because he came out with Matt Stevens, and this tag team makes so much fucking sense. I can't believe, it's like this is an obvious tag team, and it's a good one. So that's great. And they're up against the Hollywood Blondes and Adam Swayze. That's Hollywood Adam Swayze, of course, and Rex with Gideon. They've got some bad luck lately. Swayze lost his PTW championship. He lost his championship, his Tri-State championship. And tonight, he lost the tag titles, too. This is another amazing match. I kind of got caught watching it. So much cool stuff going on. It's really good. I really want to see more between Rex and Crew. That I want to see a lot of. I know they've had a singles match a long time ago, I think. That maybe like a Covington show or something. But I'd like to see them hook up, a few more times, because that's some really good shit right there. Matt Stevens fucking killing it. Adam Swayze being a dick. Gideon being a dick. Just awesome stuff all around. So the finish comes when Gideon enters the ring. He basically takes the straps down like he's going to attack Lord Crew. Crew kind of balls up his fist. Gideon gets scared and turns right into a super kick from Matt Stevens. He sells it like fucking a cartoon character. It was awesome. And then Crew and Stevens both kick prone Swayze and double pin him. Because when Gideon got in the ring, he was distracting Crew, who was about to hit the orange Fanta. So they basically ended up with Swayze, on his knees in the middle of the ring. They fucking double kick him, almost like what do you call that? The buzzsaw kick, almost, not quite. It was a little more of a straight heel kick type deal, but they both crush him. They tag him, and they're the new tag team champions. To quote Lord Crew, Swayze no belts. Oh my God, poor Swayze. What's he gonna do? I really hope that we get vignettes or videos or something of ragged Swayze not knowing what to do with himself now. We need them to be sad, like from now on. They need to be really sad. It would be great if Gideon and Swayze are sad, but Rex is kind of like, he acts sad when they're looking, but when they're not looking, he's goofing off, that'd be pretty great. I'd love to see that. That was awesome. Really happy to see that. One title we knew wasn't going to change hands tonight, though, was the heavyweight title. And we had a heavyweight title match between the birthday boy himself, legendary Larry D, and Joshua, the champion of NWF. Big shine with Larry destroying Josh for quite some time at the beginning of this, hitting all kinds of shit on him. Awesome chops on the outside. But while they're on the outside, Josh hits a chop block on Larry. Starts to get some heat on him. Larry comes back and hits a couple of fucking amazing power bombs. One of which Josh did a hurricanrana out of, which is fucking stupid. But Larry comes back with these power bombs. He did the deal where he kind of I don't know what you call it. He kind of curb stomps the dude, but the dude just does a headstand and he picks him up and power bombs him. That's a cool deal. We get a ref bump. Larry hits the punch right on Joshua, but Nate Peel slithers his way in with Big Cuz. With Big Cuz. That's a big surprise with Big Cuz and Andre. And Larry takes him out, but it allows Josh to recover, use the belt, and a low blow. And by that time, Brian had recovered, and they get the win. The bad guy gets the win. Joshua wins. Rough day for Larry at the office on his birthday. That sucks. Happy birthday to Larry. He's younger than you think he is, which is fucking weird. The day that I found out that Larry was younger than me, I was like, what the fuck? Come on. That's not right, But you know, he's just one of those guys that's got that. He'll look like that till he's like 70. You know what I mean? It's like one of those deals where like he's probably looked that age since he was 20, and he'll look that till he's like 70. You know, and like never age. So, pretty awesome, man. What a night. It was outstanding. You know, a couple things I, didn't like or whatever, but that's not what it's all about. It's all about the crowd. The crowd was going insane. They were pissed at the end of the night, of course, but we got some really great high points and some outstanding wrestling. NWF's just doing it every week, man, and I'm really glad that the place is fucking packed. I get sad when like there's not a big crowd, and tonight, man, is a huge crowd. Very happy for NWF, and happy for everybody that had great stuff going on tonight. So hope you guys enjoyed my recap. I'm gonna go die now, but man, tomorrow's the Royal Rumble, so I gotta wake up and be alive for that. But I'm probably gonna sleep until like 2 minutes before I have to leave to go to the Royal Rumble or the Royal Rumble party. So that'll be great. I hope to see some of those people that we invited there. If you're not coming, whatever. And you can follow the show at The Road Home FW. You can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. Thank you so much for listening.